In a country where students rot in jail for protest and politicians walk free for looting, 175 people just got presidential mercy. But Nigerians are asking, who truly deserves forgiveness? When a president grants a pardon, it's supposed to be the highest act of mercy a nation can show. In Nigeria, a presidential pardon can wipe away a conviction, release someone from prison, or restore civil rights. It's rooted in the idea that justice should balance punishment with forgiveness. That mercy is not weakness, but wisdom. This month, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved 175 pardon, according to the government reports. Those who benefited include people convicted of financial crimes, drug-related offenses, and manslaughter. Some were elderly, some had serious health conditions. A few had already served long terms and were recommended by the Presidential Advisory Committee. On paper, it sounds noble, a country showing compassion to its citizens. But the reaction across Nigeria has not been soft or grateful. It has been angry, divided, and suspicious. Because Nigerians are asking a simple question: mercy for who? And that is where the story gets dark. When the story broke out, social media lit up. Some said, good, every government should have mercy. But others pointed at many of those pardons were not small-time offenders. They were people found guilty of corruption, the very thing Nigerians says has crippled the nation. How does a country preach accountability and then celebrate forgiveness for those who stole from it? Let's be clear. Mercy is a virtue, but selected mercy is politics. And politics dressed as mercy is injustice in a new outfit. Across the country, citizens began to compile their own list. Name of people they believe deserve at least a review, a hearing, or a mention. Not criminals seeking escape, but citizens seeking fairness. The first missing group are the forgotten democracy activists. People who once fought for the very freedom that allowed today's government to function. People like the Ogoni, which few of them were released. Some civil society are demanding for the release of others. People like Senator Jonathan Zwingina, former senator, a pro-democrat. His name was omitted. The list also includes Kofo Akerele Bokno, Chief Olabiyi Durojaye, Chief Colinius Adebayo, a NADECO member. His name was omitted too. Guess what? The president was a product of NADECO. Decades after the struggle, some of them still have legal scars, unfulfilled promises, or pending cases that never received closure. They were not in Tinubu's list. That is one. But let's talk about the second. The second are the invisible convicts, ordinary Nigerians sentenced for petty offenses, often without proper legal presentations. Some of them never had a lawyer. Some were jailed longer than the crime itself. Many Nigerians forgot this. The domestic workers to the former First Lady, Patient Jonathan, were imprisoned for years over theft allegations, and yet to know their fate. You see, when mercy becomes a luxury only the rich can afford, you know justice has failed. Tinubu pardon list proved that. 175 names, but not one poor person like Patient Jonathan's domestic workers benefited. They are prisoners of circumstances, and many others like that. They were not in Tinubu's list either. Now, here is where it gets worse. The third are the victims of system failure, families torn apart by domestic violence or wrongful imprisonment. Do you remember Osinachi's husband? The kid left to grow without both parents because justice demands one to die in prison. How about a repentant father? Many Nigerians remember the story of a woman, the gospel singer, who lost her life to abuse, leaving the children behind. Where does mercy reach the husband? But when you pardon a killer, a woman who murdered her husband with multiple stabs, just because her mother is very influential, as rumor has it, Nigerians keep asking, at what point will justice tampered with mercy? But wait, the bigger revelation comes right after this. The fourth people are the whistleblower, activists, and voice of dissent. Every democracy claims to value free speech, yet Nigerians struggle to protect it. There are people who have faced persecution not because they stole public funds, but because they challenged those who did it. If a pardon truly reflects compassion and fairness, Why is the mercy list silent about those punished for speaking the truth? Let me ask you, where are the remaining NSAS and End Bad Governance activists? Would they just rot in jail? And then came the part that makes Nigerian youth angry. And the fifth one, the nation's attention has turned to the larger debate about selective justice. Civil society groups, youth organizations, and activists like Omowole Sowore and VDM are planning peaceful demonstrations across several states. They are asking why some people can buy redemptions with influence, why Nnamdi Kanu court case is always postponed for 4 years with no convictions or pardons. They are calling on President Tinubu to prove that his promise of renewed hope includes equal justice. These protests are not about cures. They are about conscience. They are reminders that government strength isn't measured by how many people it pardons, but by how fairly it decides who deserves that pardon. When you look closely, the issue isn't about who was pardoned. It's about what the list represents. Because every name included is a statement of values, and every name excluded is a mirror of priority. Imagine, in a country where trust in government is already fragile, this pardon list can become another test of sincerity. Was it an action of compassion or convenience? Because if the system that forgives a millionaire thief cannot forgive an hungry man who stole bread, then what are we even calling justice? Was it meant to heal or to reward? When Nigerians sees the powerful walk free, while the powerless rot in jail, they lose faith not just in the government, but in the ideas of justice itself. A pardon should restore peace, not provoke outrage. Yet today, it has done both. That tells you everything about the state of fairness in Nigeria. President Tinubu has the constitutional power to forgive, but forgiveness without transparency is favoritism. If this government truly believes in renewed hope, it must show mercy that Nigerians can believe in. Mercy that reaches beyond the corridors of influence. Mercy that includes the nameless, not just the notables. So, as conversation rises and protests prepare to take shape, Nigerians are once again watching, not for announcement, but for accountability. Because real mercy is not a list read at a press conference. It's a system that never needed one in the first place. And here's the question every Nigerian should ask tonight. If the people in power keeps forgiving themselves, why forgetting the ordinary people? What does justice even mean? And if the president asks you to pick one person out of these 5 for immediate release, who will you call for? Let me know in the comments. And if you believe mercy should be real, not rehearsals, drop your comment with the word justice. Don't forget to like and share. Subscribe, because the louder we get, the harder it becomes for them to ignore us. Before you go, if you really want to understand why Nigerian keeps repeating this same mistake, you need to see this. In this video, I ask a simple question that changes everything. What if Nigeria never existed? The truth they never taught you will open your eyes. Click the video right here. I will meet you there. See you in the next video.